Welcome. Again, I'll reiterate, please silence your phones. And please rise for the entrance of the graduating class and posting of colors. Forgot to give him that thumbs up. Please do.
Honor guard. Post. Cut. Detail. Halt. Right. Pitch. Motion. Halt. Dress. Cut. Honor guard. Uniform personnel. Present. Halt.
Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. Halt. Left. Pitch. Forward. Halt.
Please be seated. Policing is one of our most noble professions. The actions of any police officer in an instant can impact an individual for life and even a community for generations. Given this realization, every police officer must be centered on what is important. Service, justice, fundamental fairness are the foundational principles in which every police action must be grounded. The nobility of policing demands the noblest of character. Dr. Stephen Covey. Good afternoon. I'm Fred Swanson, coordinator for the North Idaho College Basic Patrol Academy. It's been my privilege and honor to work with the class N0818 as each embarks into his or her law enforcement career. Class N18. Welcome, friends, family, and distinguished guests of the graduates of this class. Please feel welcome to come forward, take pictures during the presentation of certificates and awards. I'd like you to join me in welcoming the special guests at the head table to my right, and from my right to your left are Dr. Rick McLennan, President, North Idaho College. Lita Burns, Vice President of Instruction, North Idaho College. Cassie Silvas, Dean of Career and Technical Education, North Idaho College. Sue Shibley, Division Chair, Business and Professional Programs Division, North Idaho College. The Honorable Judge Maylee Walsh, Kootenai County Magistrate Court. And Chaplain Don DeKellis, Post Falls Police Department. Welcome and thank you for your steadfast support of the Basic Patrol Academy program and the proud graduates. Also, thank you to Gabe Grover, Administrative Assistant, keeps me straight, or tries. The Law Enforcement Advisory Committee, Sheriff Dave Kramer, Chair. I don't see Sheriff Wolfinger here. Captain Kim Edmondson from the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office. Chief White, Coeur d'Alene Police Department. Chief Knight, Post Falls Police Department. Chief Zimmerman, Bonners Ferry Police Department. Chief McLean from Rathdrum Police Department. Again, thank you for all your support and input for this academy. Mark Gidney from our Region 1 Post Training Specialist from Post. Haven't seen him in here. There you go. He tries to hide. And also all to the North Idaho College staff for their support and reinforcement in setting up the facilities. They've done a great job. I'd like to give a huge thank you to all the dedicated and professional instructors who enthusiastically shared their expertise, knowledge, and experience with this class. Without the dedicated cadre of instructors who constantly juggle their busy schedules to accommodate the academy schedule, this program would not be successful. The instructors are the backbone of the program. Thank you very much. And to add to that, thank you to the agencies for allowing them the time and ability to come and teach at the academy. Sometimes we forget to recognize publicly those closest to us. This includes many of you in the audience. We would like to recognize spouses, significant others, parents, grandparents, children, and friends important to the graduating class who have provided outstanding support, guidance, and inspiration to their respective student. As you all know, the academy schedule demanded student attendance 5 days a week, approximately 10 hours per day, and in some instances into the night. Whether at the academy on breaks at home, or at their respective departments, the students had to make time to study, practice skills, write reports, and prepare their uniform, excuse me, just to do it all over again the next day. Kind of like Groundhog Day. For 15 plus weeks. This dedication and perseverance took valuable time from their families and loved ones. You spouses, significant others, friends, family, picked up the slack and provided valuable support for your respective students. Thank you. As a 20th class of the North Idaho College Basic Patrol Academy, Class N0818 has 10 students. 2 from the Coeur d'Alene Police Department, 1 from the Rathdrum Police Department, and 7 self-sponsored students, 2 of whom have received job offers during the academy. At the start of the academy, I assigned 1 student per week the opportunity to be in charge as a class representative. Midway through the academy, the class elected a class president and vice president who then represented the class through the end, through today. The class elected self-sponsored student Elizabeth Foster as president. And Officer Matthew Lovinger, Coeur d'Alene Police Department, as vice president. Through their leadership roles, everyone did a great job, performed professionally in those roles, and represented their class well. Academically, the class average was a solid B. This is very impressive considering the amount of information they received each week and the fast-paced manner in which they had to retain it. They have all performed very admirably. To the class of N0818, that's hard to say, through the over 619 hours of online learning, in-class lecture, and practical instruction, you have absorbed a huge amount of information. The scenario-based training and field skills days allowed you to put that knowledge to task. and you performed admirably. You have sprayed each other with OC, been shocked with a taser, shot with Sims rounds, endured rain, sun, sleet, rain again, and snow, all in the same hour, while at EVOC, the firearms range, and during field training. We have one class that we know it's going to rain on that day that we schedule it. Doesn't matter what day it is. You may remember swimming in 41-degree weather, or water, moved a huge amount of dirt, and suffered scrapes, bruises, and morse muscles, not to mention ankles, wrists, backs, and ribs in physical fitness and defensive tactics. You endured way too much PowerPoint lecture, took 13 written tests, demonstrated your knowledge and skills on various scenarios, and did too many burpees, jump ropes, wall balls, and box jumps to count. This took serious commitment on your part, and it is a significant accomplishment. Thank you for your understanding and support when we had to change the schedule or overall plans on a minute's notice. You always embrace those changes with a can-do attitude and a smile on your face. I encourage you to maintain the teamwork and friendships you have formed as you move into your new careers, a career you chose. Keep learning every day, and remember Benjamin Franklin's words, without continual growth and progress, such words as improvement, achievement, and success have no meaning. As you encounter and navigate through difficulties, and when you celebrate your many accomplishments, always remember why you chose this profession, an honorable, noble, and proud profession. As President Calvin Coolidge said, no one is compelled to choose the profession of police officer, but having chosen it, everyone is obliged to perform its duties and live up to the high standards of its requirements. As we stressed in the Academy, the core values of the law enforcement culture and profession include, but are not limited to, professionalism, chain of command, integrity, respect, honesty, self-control, leadership, courage, and strength. These are values to carry you through life and your new career. But let us not forget compassion, empathy, and humility as you perform your duties to the fullest extent of your abilities. I admire your commitment and professionalism, and I appreciate your dedication to yourself, your classmates, your respective agency or future agency, and the community you serve. Congratulations on a job well done. I'm proud of you. This time I'd like to welcome North Idaho College President Rick McLennan to address the class.
I'm delighted to be able to add my welcome to all of you today for being here and to offer congratulations on behalf of North Idaho College and the North Idaho College Board of Trustees for successfully completing your program. And we offer our encouragement and support as you embark on this next journey of your career, and know that we're going to be with you all the way. I also want to thank all of you who've helped support these journeys today, to get to today, and all the support that we know that you're going to be providing them as they develop in their careers. And a special thank you to all the law enforcement officers who help by imparting their wisdom, their experience, their teaching, and help develop the skills in these new officers throughout the course of the program. North Idaho College is honored and proud to play a role in the development of those who would protect our community. So thank you again for all being here, and again, congratulations.
Ready? This time I'd like to present President Elizabeth Foster to give the class president's address. Ms. Foster, please come forward.
Oh, I'm so glad I didn't trip. Good afternoon, everyone. First, I'd like to thank you all for being here and celebrating with us this enormous accomplishment, graduating the North Idaho Basic Patrol Academy. Before I get into my speech, well, technically I'm already in my speech, I want to bring everyone's attention. My class straight up threatened me with walking out of here if my speech took longer than a couple minutes. They all have attention issues, so I'm indulging them. So, in lieu of telling you all in detail what we've been through the past 16 weeks, Fred kind of touched on some of it, All the emotions, accomplishments, failures, frustrations, excitements, I'll summarize it. We've been pepper sprayed. Some of us took it worse than others. Connor. We rode the lightning for 5 seconds, some of us for longer. We jumped in the 41-degree lake water, but most importantly, we survived PT with Cody Cohen. All right, I'm 1/10 of the way done, guys. Don't worry, just stay seated. I'm going to briefly talk about who these 9 guys are sitting to my left and why I'm honored to be here with them today. First up, our class vice president, Matt Lovinger. Quiet guy, very, very quiet guy. Easily the most professional human being I've ever met, aside from my father. But by week 10, we all finally broke him, and he was muttering things under his breath that even our class sailor was proud of. But in all seriousness, Matt, you are someone I genuinely look up to and inspire to be like. You are calm, collected, professional, ethical, and a force to be reckoned with. You are going to do phenomenal at this job. Speaking of Coeur d'Alene PD, guys, Leslie Lee, our class ninja. This man, if anyone knows him, is an absolute beast when it comes to pretty much anything that makes an action movie cool. Defensive tactics, physical training, firearms, baton training, all of it. Your drive and your motivation to keep yourself in top physical shape inspires me, heck, all of us. And I'm honored to be working the same streets as you in the future. Also, thank you for always making sure we got out of class on time, got things wrapped up. Places to be and things to do, right, Lee? Eric Bowman, our resident Army man, you were also a quiet one in the beginning. Throughout this academy, you pushed yourself, you've met the deadlines, passed exams with flying colors, worked through challenges, and helped your fellow classmates do the same. I admire your push and motivation to juggle this crazy lifestyle while being a husband and father of 7 kids. Yeah, just 7 kids deserves an applause. Good grief. Also, you survived a sparring session with Ninja Lee, so you're a boss in my book. Hot mess Kenny Short. Every single morning, we could always count on your big smile, power walking through the classroom door with less than a minute to spare before inspection. We all gave you so much grief over it, but you know we did it just because you're better than all of us and we're jealous of how awesome you are. Seriously, though, I've learned so much from you during this journey, and I genuinely admire your drive, knowledge, and your freaking tenacity. You are a pit bull, and I hope our paths cross frequently during our careers because I'm going to miss you. The baby, Connor Wilson. You put up with the youngest person in the class jokes almost as much as I put up with the only girl in the class jokes, so props to you, sir. At some point, you might come across someone younger than you during your career, and when this happens, you're going to feel like you're on top of the world. But seriously, you're going to make an amazing cop, and I've seen you develop more as a mature, brave, smart, sensitive person over these last 16 weeks than anybody else. That could be, though, because your brain is scientifically proven not to be fully developed yet, so. Now let's get to the other end of the age spectrum, Stephen Thayer. Your drive, determination, motivation, and willingness to endure serious suck to make it through this in order to live out your dream of working in law enforcement is commendable. You being here is a reminder to everybody on the fence about pursuing their calling and their dream that it is possible and that no matter who you are, if you put your mind to something, it will happen. Happy for you, and even happier you've been part of our team. Cami I is lucky to have you, my friend. Next up, Matthew Beast Mode Shaver. Another quiet one, but good grief, this guy stepped up to the plate and knocked anything thrown at him out of the water. Range week, we're all wondering how he would do since most of his time prior to the academy was spent working in produce, 16 years. And suffice to say, Shaver nailed all the qualifications and by the end of the second week was a whiter, skinnier likeness of Rambo. Matt, I'm honored to know you. You're an exceptional human being, you're caring, kind, and calm, but you also have a side to you that I would not want to mess with. You're open to criticism and critique, and your growth in this process has been outstanding. You chose the right profession, my friend. You're going to do great things. All right, now on to the first of our 2 Bonners Ferry boys, Brandon Johnson. Brandon, you're going to hate me for saying this, but one of my favorite parts of the academy has been our yoga sessions. Just remember, Brandon, it's not effective if you aren't taking nice, deep breaths. Knowing you has made me wish that I live up in whatever county you live in out in the middle of nowhere. You You are and you have been the moral compass of our group. Your ethics, integrity, honesty, and reliability are second to none. And among all the craziness, you've always been that calm, reassuring voice, sometimes asleep in the corner, that brings us all down a notch when needed. Except for when we have written exams, then you're an absolute hot mess, but we're not perfect, right? All right, now on to the last, but certainly not least, the second half of the Bonners Ferry duo, Jason Trujillo? How do you say that? Oh, who cares? Nobody knows how to pronounce your stupid name. It's Trujillo? Okay. Sorry, Jason, looks like we're out of time. All right. To wrap this up, I'd like to point out, and I'd like to express on behalf of Class 818 our sincere thanks and gratitude to all of our instructors, role players, evaluators, and anyone else who helped put this academy together. Speaking of evaluators, I would like to apologize on record publicly to Sergeant Mark Ellis for that accidental misfire of a sim round during that scenario. So now that I've apologized, it's all good, so you don't need to get back at me or whatever. I'd like to especially thank Mr. Swanson, who had no gray hairs when this whole process started. And to Gabe Grover, the amazing woman behind the magic. We have gifts for you, so Lee Johnson. Round of applause for them, too, for all their work. Come on, Lee, we got things to do. All right, that concludes what I have to say. Thank you all again for being here. Please keep us and all first responders in your thoughts and prayers as we embark on this incredible new journey. God bless, and thank all of you.
As she noted, that's a pretty diverse group here, and it's amazing how well they've all gotten along. It's been a great group. Thank you. And thank you for the gift. At this time, I would like to invite NIC Division Chair Sue Shibley to join me in presenting the class awards. All right, for the first award, this top physical fitness. The students are required to complete the physical readiness test upon entry into the academy, midway through the academy, and upon completion of the academy. This award is presented to the student with the highest combined score in the Idaho Post Physical Readiness Test. The test consists of 5 events: a vertical jump, the most sit-ups that can be accomplished in 1 minute, the most push-ups that can be completed, a 300-meter run, and a 1.5-mile run. We present this award to Leslie Lee. Most improved physical fitness. During the course of the academy, the students are required to participate in a structured and rigorous, previously mentioned, physical fitness training program. This award is presented to the student who, in part because of the physical training program and his or her commitment to a healthy lifestyle, most improved his or her overall physical readiness test score. We present this award to Matt Levinger. The next award is Outstanding Academics. This award is presented to the student with the highest overall grade point average. The grade point average includes written tests on all topics, which includes firearms, emergency vehicle operations, computer-based training, Law Week, and the final exam for a total of 1,700 points available. We present this award to Kenneth Short. The next award we have is Top Gun. This award is presented to the student with the highest combined score in Idaho Post handgun, shotgun, and rifle courses. We present this award to Brandon Johnson. The next award is an Outstanding Professional Award. This award is presented to the student selected by his or her peers as the individual they would most want to work with in law enforcement. The recipient exemplifies those characteristics that are in keeping with the finest traditions of the law enforcement profession, including knowledge, maturity, ability, leadership, integrity, judgment, and attitude. The students vote by secret ballot for the recipient. The class presents this award to Matt Levinger. Excuse me. The top overall student. This award is presented to the student whose combined scores in academics, physical fitness, firearms, report writing, and practical exercises placed him or her at the top of the class. We present this award to Jason Trujillo. This time we're going to do the Code of Ethics. The Honorable Judge Maylee Walsh accepted our invitation to administer the post-adopted Law Enforcement Code of Ethics to the class. Judge Walsh obtained her bachelor's degree from the Evergreen State College in Olympia, Washington, and obtained her law degree from the University of Idaho College of Law in Moscow, Idaho. Prior to her selection to serve as magistrate judge in the 1st Judicial District in 2016, Judge Walsh spent the majority of her entire career as an attorney practicing law in the courts of Kootenai County. During that time, Judge Walsh worked as public defender's office as senior trial attorney. Judge Walsh is married to attorney Sean Walsh, and together Judge Walsh and her husband have 5 children. Please welcome Judge Walsh to administer the oath.
Thank you all for being here today and supporting these candidates. If you'll please stand at this time as I read the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics. As a law enforcement officer, my fundamental duty is to serve the community, to safeguard lives and property, to protect the innocent against deception, the weak against oppression or intimidation, and the peaceful against violence or disorder, and to respect the constitutional rights of all to liberty, equality, and justice. I will keep my private life unsullied as an example to all, and will behave in a manner that does not bring discredit to me or my agency. I will maintain courageous calm in the face of danger, scorn, or ridicule, develop self-restraint, and be constantly mindful of the welfare of others. Honest in thought and deed, in both my personal and official life, I will be exemplary in obeying the law and the regulations of my department. Whatever I see or hear of a confidential nature or that is confided to me in my official capacity will be kept ever secret, unless revelation is necessary in the performance of my duty. I will never act officiously or permit personal feelings, prejudices, political beliefs, aspirations, animosities, or friendships to influence my decisions. With no compromise for crime and the relentless prosecution of criminals, I will enforce the law courageously and appropriately, without fear or favor, malice or ill will, never employing unnecessary force or violence, and never accepting gratuities. I recognize the badge of my office as a symbol of public faith and I accept it as a public trust to be held so long as I am true to the ethics of law enforcement service. I will never engage in acts of corruption or bribery, nor will I condone such acts by other law enforcement officers. I will cooperate with all legally authorized agencies and their representatives in the pursuit of justice. I know that I alone am responsible for my own own standard of professional performance, and will take every reasonable opportunity to enhance and improve my level of knowledge and competence. I will constantly strive to achieve these objectives and ideals, dedicating myself before God to my chosen profession, law enforcement. Cadets, if you'll please raise your right hand and be sworn. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution and laws of the State of Idaho and the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics. I will faithfully discharge my duties as a peace officer of the State of Idaho and political entity I represent, according to the best of my ability. So help me God. Please be seated. Thank you.
Excuse me. At this time, we would like to present the class with their certificates. I will ask each dignitary to come forward when I call your name to present the certificates. At this time, I'll ask Chief White to come up for Coeur d'Alene Police Department. Leslie Lee. Matthew Levinger. Chief McLean from Rathdrum Police Department. Kenneth Short. Chief Zimmerman, Bonners Ferry Police Department. Brandon Johnson. Jason Trujillo. This time I'd ask President McLennan to come up and present the self-sponsored students. Eric Bowman. Elizabeth Foster. Matthew Shaver. Stephen Thayer. Connor Wilson. Thank you, sir. Class, attention. Move to the front of the stage.
Right, face. Forward, march. Left, face.
All right, for the past few months, members of this class have learned the skills required to effectively do the job of a police officer. They master defensive and arrest tactics, investigation procedures, driving and firearms, criminal law and traffic code, and other objective-driven topics. Frankly, these are topics that can be learned by anyone. However, it takes a special type of person to be a police officer. To be a police officer requires resolute character, humble professionalism, unflinching integrity, unbroken courage, and steadfast compassion. The difference between the average person who has acquired the knowledge taught in the academy and an officer is in how and when we apply those skills and our purpose in doing so. That is why the ceremony is so important. In a few moments, I will ask friends and family to the stage to pin the badge on our graduates' chests. The significance of this act is to remind the officer every day when he or she dons the uniform that they stand for something important. They are charged with protecting the community, their new extended family in blue, and those they love most, with the expectation that with the special remembrance of getting the badge pinned upon their chest by someone dear to them, the badge is that much harder to tarnish, and they would protect the community just as they would their family. The badge itself stands for honor and pride, dedication and bravery, courage and compassion, service and integrity. The badge represents not just our calling, but it is a constant reminder of the people we protect and serve. It is recognition of the nobility of policing and reverence to our roles as guardians of our communities. Moreover, it is an acknowledgement of those who have come before us, who have shown compassion and bravery, been bloodied, cried, and sometimes died upholding the honor behind that badge. It is more than a piece of metal on our chest. It represents our dedication to professional police services and that we stand for something greater than ourselves. Please come forward and present your officer with his or her badge. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to present to you the North Idaho Class Basic Patrol Academy class, class number N0818. Class, return to your seats.
Left, face. Forward, march.
Take seats. Each semester we work on doing a community service project. We've worked with the Special Olympics. This class, a portion of this class did that as well, the bowling tournament. And we also assisted the Idaho Army National Guard. Staff Sergeant Enriquez from the Idaho Army National Guard would like to present a certificate to the class. Sergeant Enriquez.
Great honor to be here today. Obviously, there is a great fraternity between us as uniformed soldiers. Many of these fine officers have also or will in the future serve as military personnel as well. We share that joint trust from our civilian leadership to protect the people of this community, and we serve nationally as well to protect and to serve in many capacities. You found the time in all of your busy coursework to also serve the community, helping us out with the Idaho Army National Guard's Coeur d'Alene Warrior Challenge here at the park, McEwen Park, this summer. Some of you might have seen it. For that, we just wanted to thank you. If I can have your class leader, Ms. Foster, please come up and receive the award.
This time we'd like to welcome Pastor John DeKellis with Post Falls Police Department for the closing benediction.
My name is John DeKellis. I'm the lead chaplain of the Post Falls Police Department. I'm starting my 29th year there, and it's a privilege and an honor to have been associated with that department. Before I came here, I was talking to my wife, and I said that, you know, whenever I get up, this is my third time. I feel like the Lakers back in the 80s, like three-peat. This is my third time. And I said, you know, they're always happy to see me, and they keep inviting me back. And my bride of 38 years said, well, that's because you're the last speaker, so they're happy that it's almost over. And the reason they keep inviting you back is because you actually do keep it short. So anyway, I just kind of have just a couple points. I'm really glad that when I went to the Chaplain Academy, we don't have words like burpee, sit-up, and push-up. Who did the most sit-ups? How many? How many? 63. 63? I've done that in my life, so good job. I'm sure you guys remember the below 100 stuff that they gave you. They talked about, you know, wearing your seatbelt, wearing your body armor, speed kills, don't be complacent, but they also talked about what's important now. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about what's important now. When you leave here, you're starting with a clean slate. And so the question is going to be is what is important to you? When I first got saved and became a Christian, someone suggested to me that I take a note and write down what I thought I should be. And, you know, I keep that in my wallet, and basically in here, it's been here for a while, in here it says that I want to honor my God, I want to be a spiritual leader, and I want to be a servant to others. And I keep that note now behind my badge because I know that if I do those three things, then I will honor my department and I will honor the people that I work for. And so that's the thing that I would encourage you to do is take a moment and define what it is that you want to be. What kind of officer do you want to be in the future? You know, I can tell you about working on our department, and he's not here, so I can talk about him. And those of you here don't say I talked about him. But we have Sergeant Anderson, and he's what I call the backup cop. If you're in trouble, you'd want him to be the guy who came and backed you up. I remember when I started using our gym and exercising, I was so excited the day that I got to 15-pound weights. And I was there standing in front of the weights, and I said, "Oh, Justin, did you need to get in here?" He said, "No." And he went down and grabbed two 75-pound weights. Okay? But that's where someday I realized I could be there, but it would take time, and it's the same with you. Briefings can be time to have fun and talk and tell stories and stuff, but whenever you go to one of his briefings, you learn something. I don't know, did you know that there are 4 different ways from a prone position that you can shoot from underneath a car with your rifle? I did not know that. I know that. If I'm ever doing it, it's a really bad day. But these are things that you will learn, and you can learn things in briefing. It's just not a time to talk and have fun. So you have an example like that with Justin, but also we got a note the other day. I hope you don't mind me reading it, but it's a public note from someone, and it said, "I wanted to thank the police officer I had the pleasure of meeting tonight after being pulled over. My husband and I decided to venture out to the grocery store with our 3-year-old girl and our 5-year-old boy with autism. Long story short, both kids made it very hard to get things done, so we left feeling drained, upset, and then we got pulled over. So I'm very thankful this officer let us go with a warning. Let my kids ask him a million questions and gave them each a stuffed animal and a coupon for free ice cream. My son went to bed feeling so happy and said he wants to be a police officer when he grows up. Thank you to the man who showed much understanding and love tonight. Merry Christmas." And that person was Chris Christensen, who graduated in the last class. So your short-term future, what has it been, 6, 7 months? Your short-term future can be that, and your long-term future can be the guy or gal who can do 75 pounds and knows how to shoot and those kind of things. But really what's going to grow in this position, and I've been doing it for a long time, we've seen officers come and we've seen officers go, but it's really what your heart is toward the people in your community. So I'm kind of done, but I'd like to do one thing that I thought of last time, is what I did last time, and I realized I pray for our officers. I pray for our chief every day at 1 o'clock. I have a Google calendar. Everybody has Google. I have a separate calendar. That's just a prayer calendar. And what I did last time was I took all the names off the back of this announcement that we have here, and I put it for Friday at 1 o'clock because that's when this was. And so for the last 7 months, I have prayed for every one of those officers who graduated. Well, what I did while I was sitting there, I added your names to that Friday at 1 o'clock. So every Friday at 1 o'clock, I'll be praying for you. But what I didn't do last time was invite you. It took me about 7 minutes in my calendar to go in and say, every Friday at 1 o'clock, remind me to pray for these 10 people. So I'd like to invite you to do that, because the Bible says where 2 or more are joined together. And so if it's not just me and it's you as well, I think that would help them know that there's people there every week praying for them. So I'll just close in a word of prayer, and then you'll be happy that I'm done. So, our gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, I thank you for the opportunity to be here, Lord. I thank you for all of us to be a part of this, to feel the camaraderie, the love, the companionship, and the needling that went on between this group and the history that they will share together. I ask you, Lord, that you would touch their hearts, help them to decide what kind of officer that we want to be. Put it in writing, help them hold themselves accountable, that they want to honor their department and honor their community. I just ask you be with us, keep us safe as we travel home. In Jesus' name, amen.
Class, attention. Please stand for the retrieval of colors.
Honor guard. Retrieve. Color.
Thank you to the Coeur d'Alene Fire Pipes and Drums for piping the opening ceremony, and the Honor Guard made up of the Idaho State Police, Kootenai County Sheriff's Office, the Coeur d'Alene Police Department, Post Falls Police Department, and the Rathdrum Police Department. Thank you very much for coming. Please join us in the lobby to meet with the graduates and have some refreshments.